Welcome to another match preview where we look ahead to the FA Cup clash with the Stones hosting Hampton Richmond again, this time for a place in FA Cup qualifying round 3. So before we look ahead again to the magic of the FA Cup, we must look back at a Stones win, it says here, the 4-1 victory at Enfield. Exactly what was required after recent performances and results, Nigel.
Yeah, definitely. Makes these reviews a lot easier, doesn't it, after a win?
Oh yes.
Yeah, but, it's like we were just talking there before we came on air, wasn't it? Enfield, yes, they're below us in the table and obviously the form guide as well, but, they was in the game a little bit for the first half, but we did play well, didn't we? And like we've said before in these previews and reviews, goals change games. We've got that goal midway through the first half, Bentley, I thought he was exceptional first half on Saturday. Even a lot of the Enfield media guys were coming up and asking,
Yes.
well, he's not your obvious name you look for on the team sheet, but they were asking, where do we get him from, and where's he been playing, and all that kind of thing. So yeah, it was a good performance, and then obviously getting that goal, we came out second half. I think we didn't sort of sit back on that lead, did we? We came out with a little bit of intent. Had that 10-minute spell. Blair, yes, it was a mistake from the defender, but he earned that. With his play, leading up to this game, he's always playing on the shoulder of the last defender, and the guy was making his debut, and Blair just got the better of him, and once he was through one-on-one, again, we said it as well in the hot take, didn't he? He got that goal. Yes, it was in a losing performance against Chelmsford on the Tuesday prior, but it gives you that confidence, doesn't it? You know what I mean? And then we saw it again for his second and third goals. That second goal, I thought, looking back on the highlights now, it's even better than I think when it was live, because it was like, the ball came across him, but you've seen him have many chances like that this season, but they either go wide of the post or up into the stands behind the goal, and he just sort of guided it in, and
Opening up the body.
Yeah, exactly.
It made it look routine.
Exactly, and that's what you hope now kicks on. For a lot of these players, you've got the confidence. You're settling into the system that we're playing now. And we've said it before. Success and failure is two sides of the same coin, isn't it? You know what I mean? It only takes that little bit of spark, and we've got the players. We have got the players to do it. So hopefully, that gives not just the players and the team, but the support staff and the fan base all that confidence now to, kick on to the FA Cup, which, is going to bring back all the memories from last year, isn't it? So.
Well, talking of confident players, a quick word about the Player of the Month, Ben Brooks. All 4 assists and 3 cleanest sheets in the month of August. He carried on again with his assisting streak to start the ball rolling at Enfield, of course. Your thoughts on his great start with the Stones, Nigel?
Yeah, we said it before, haven't we? We said it in the Player of the Season little preview bit that we did there. He's one of the players that's really settled in well. And he's got a connection as well through his social media with the fan base. They've bought into it, and they can see the benefits of his videos, and he doesn't hold back from the issues that are there. He's very sort of forthcoming with everything that's going on. So, and not just with the team, but his home performance as well. He's very critical, and he fronts up to stuff. So I think fans appreciate that, and he's delivering on the pitch. Some of those crosses. I mean, I hark back to it, but that ball he put in for that last-minute winner for Temi to score against St Albans away, opening day of the season, that's 2 points right there, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So if his assists can sort of like be the difference between winning and losing games, then that's going to mount up as the season goes on, isn't it?
Robsy said on Saturday he wants double digits in assists and in goals.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. And he's getting into position. I mean, he hasn't scored a goal in the actual season. He scored a couple in pre-season, didn't he? But you can see he's getting into those positions. He had a shot here, one of the Tuesday home games where he cut in and dipping. It just didn't dip quick enough to get into the top corner. But you can see, with his prowess as well around free kicks and that, you're going to
throw-ins as well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. He's going to be up there in both charts, I think, isn't he? So hopefully he meets his target, and obviously that will propel the team forward as well.
Yes. So as promised, finally the Hampton Richmond preview itself. Signings since we last played them. Renedy Masampu is an ex-Met Police and Chelsea defender. He signed from Enfield, where he helped them get promoted to National League South at the end of last season. He's had 5 bench appearances since signing, and Mauro Villette has signed from Hornchurch after helping them get promoted to National League South last season as well. He won the National League a decade or so ago with Barnet. He's had 3 sub-appearances since his signing on the dotted line. So another couple of recently promoted players to add to that mix of players we've already spoken about before from the lower divisions, trying to show their skills at South level, Nigel.
Yeah, I mean, Mario Villette's the one that stands out there, doesn't he? I mean, like you said, he was with Barnet. I think he was with Dagenham under Daryl McMahon previously, so he's definitely got the experience of that. It's not a new thing to him playing at this level. So perhaps we said it in the original preview that they had a lot of youngsters, so he's got that experience, I suppose, of bringing those sort of youngsters through, and add to the likes of Jake Gray, and like we've mentioned before, it gives them a little bit more of a threat going forward, doesn't it? Yeah. Which is what they want. I mean, we go back to that game on the Tuesday night. It was a 0-0, wasn't it? And I don't recall them being, it was more a case of Stones not breaking them down rather than Hampton Richmond, gaining a point sort of thing. Really, they didn't really have a shot in anger. I can't recall. So, that's going to help them with that, isn't it? With that little bit of experience that they, even though they've been quite solid defensively, they've shipped a lot of goals. So, again, it's just another little piece in that jigsaw for them, isn't it?
So speaking of some of the key men for Hampton and Richmond so far this season, Tim Curd in between the sticks with 3 clean sheets in their 8 games so far. The aforementioned Jake Gray scored what looked to be a winning goal against Boreham Wood. Alfie Williams did the same at Chelmsford, and Alex, bring on the wall, scored the winner. I'll keep doing it. Scored the winner, even if no one wants it. He scored the winner at home to Salisbury for Hampton's first victory of the season, the game immediately after the goalless draw here at the Gallagher. So some key names to repeat there, Nigel. Expecting 1 or 2 to have a say on Saturday here?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like we just said, Jake Gray's a big player, and he's got Football League experience as well, and he seems to, if they do have a good performance, he seems to be at the heart and centre of all of that. And I think from memory as well, I think he's the captain of the team, isn't he? So he's just passing that experience on. And we've seen it throughout our FA Cup run last year and previous years. It's not a new thing, is it? As great as the highs were last year, you're back down to earth, second qualifying round. There's no bias for getting further in the competition last year, is there? So Hampton and Richmond, it's for them, it's a case of it's a one-off game, and they can literally throw the kitchen sink at it. Isn't it? It's not a free hit as such, because obviously they want to continue that momentum they've got from the league. But coming here, it's not as if they're going to a ground they're not used to. It's not as if they're going to like we did last year, going to a stadium. They can come here. They've played here many times. A lot of those players they've played here many times, and just give it a go and see what happens. So that's something that I think the Stones have got to be wary of.
So if you can't remember all of the players from the last meeting, then why not head back to last month's preview for more information on Saturday's opponents. That video is in the description below. So Hampton and Richmond's results since we last played one another. They had a 1-0 home win against Salisbury, thanks to the wall. A 1-0 loss at Bath, thanks to Solwanjo Smith's penalty. A topsy-turvy 3-2 home loss to Worthing before a 1-0 win at bottom side Weymouth. Then finally, the weekend just gone, they had a draw at home to Boreham Wood while we were at Enfield. They conceded a 94th minute equaliser to Kwesi Appiah. So some tough opponents in there, Nigel, but I mean, you alluded to the defensive strength of that side earlier in the video. 3 1-0s either way.
Yeah. Shows
to me that Saturday could be another close one, couldn't it?
Again, we allude back to Saturday's game. That I'd have been a little bit probably more worried if we'd have had a closer game maybe, or a draw at Enfield, because you're coming into that and you're having to find your form. But I'm just hoping that that is the tide has turned on Saturday, and that the players will gain that little bit of confidence from that. I think I don't think George will have that sort of complacency. I don't think he's the kind of character to, and a lot of the new boys, I think coming into it as well, a lot of the new boys will be like, we've seen what Mason can do last year. We've seen what what heights you can reach if you just believe. So they're going to want a piece of that, aren't they? The likes of Aaron Blair, Ben Brooks, even Charlie Seaman to an extent. Do you know what I mean? He's very loyal to George. He came here because of George, and he's going to want to sort of allude to those heights. And I think from a fan base point of view, obviously the last FA Cup game we played was away at Coventry, wasn't we? So in that context, you're going to think, oh, we should be beating Hampton and Richmond. But, it's just got to, just like the team, just get back down to the level. And, all great journeys start with the first step, don't they? So hopefully we can see the fruits of that coming to fruition after Saturday.
Fingers crossed. So a brief stat attack, as I like to give you. FA Cup record at this round in the second qualifying round. So before the turn of the millennium, 11 of 18 second qualifying round matches are played at home. We won 8 of those 18, managed to lose 8 as well. This side of the millennium, after 2000, we've had a couple of notable victories. The 6-2 home win against South Park with Bodkin hat-trick, the 4-1 at Stenning last season, of course. The more recent results that we can recall. The last 3 in a row were away from home, so good to start an FA Cup campaign at home for a change. 12 wins and 3 defeats since the turn of millennium. So not been a replay this side of 2000 in this round, so hopefully that doesn't change on Saturday. Any games that stick out from second qualifying round or first games of an FA Cup run from memory, Nigel?
Yeah, I mean, since we've been back at the Gallagher, it was the first qualifying round game, but it was that 10-0 against Littlehampton here. Again, that's like I said, we got that, and it kind of gave us. I don't think the team was in great form leading up to that, but 10-0, and it culminated in beating Stevenage in the first round, playing Wrexham away, and then winning the Ryman Premier to get up to this level. So that was the last time we played in the first qualifying round.
Yeah, not needed to ever since then, obviously.
Yeah, but that was the first game in the FA Cup campaign. It just shows you, do you know what I mean? If you take each game as it comes and you build that momentum steadily, yes, it gives you those memories as well of going to these new grounds in the FA Cup, but also it can aid your league form. Winning results breeds confidence, doesn't it?
It does. So if you can't make it to the game, be sure to tune in to Chris and Darren from 2:40 on Stones Live. You'll see them on the hot take and hear them on the highlights once they go online a few hours after the game. Well, the Shaun the Sheep in the heart of Kent farewell weekend is upon us. Don't worry, I'll be back next week with another preview ahead of Chesham. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Dare to dream, steady.
Believe.
And as always,
come on, you Stones!